Francois, what is your take in context of the 5 states which are going for counting today? They are spread all across India. Mizoram is in northeast. You know, you have a southern state, Telangana, the newest state. You have got 3 Hindi heartland states. Mizoram is the only state which the Congress has. If they lose Mizoram, technically the whole northeast will be, you know, it will be like a BJP slogan, Congress Mukt Northeast. So what is the biggest takeaway for you when it comes to this election for Prime Minister Modi and Rahul Gandhi?
Well, people say that in India, Indians vote differently for states and for the general elections. And I think it's been the case very often. But this is so close to the general election of 2019. I think Mr. Modi should worry if his party doesn't do as well as it was expected. And according to the exit polls, the BJP is not going to do that well. So I think for Mr. Modi, it's a worrying moment, and he should take stock and you know, decide what to do in the next 6 months.
Why do you say worrying? The results aren't out?
Well, you know, it looks like the BJP is going to come very close in Madhya Pradesh, and, you know, might lose in Rajasthan. Mizoram anyway, they have no chance, and Telangana either. So I think it's a wake-up call for the BJP.
Francis, do you agree with him?
Definitely agree with him, because just imagine if BJP was, if we had this feeling that BJP is going to win this election, and imagine they win this election, then what? Then it would be a booster shot for Modi. He would have said that everything that he's done in the last 4 years, you have sanctioned, and hence this would have been a preliminary match for the 2019. It's the way you structure it. Now the challenge would be, if he loses, he'll have to distance himself from this, saying that it's all in the states and nothing to do with the center. And if he wins, he will definitely capitalize on it. Same goes for Rahul Gandhi. If he wins, it is the local leaders who will get him the victory, but it is he who will capitalize on it, totally depending. But we, at a national level, if we to look at the national impact of these elections, we can surely say that the 2 men who are fighting in these states were Rahul Gandhi and Narendra Modi. So it is Rahul Gandhi versus Narendra Modi, and the effects of these elections will be seen in the upcoming central elections. And Karthikeya, do not forget that what happens in Rajasthan, Madhya Pradesh and Chhattisgarh will send a message, you know, across the north of India of the mood that is, you know, that we can see in 2019 May. It's a symbolic thing, and it can also...
Francois, do you share this optimism?
No, I do not. I do not. But
good journalist.
You know, often these polls have proved wrong, so we should wait for the result. But it does look as if, you know, the BJP is not going to do that well, and Mr. Modi, be a warning for Mr. Modi.
Dr. Anderson, you wanted to come in?
Yeah, there's the narrative which we talked about earlier. The narrative actually has not been pro-Modi in the last couple of... The narrative has been that the Congress is going to do well. If for some reason the BJP does well, that we looked at as an enormous victory then, in comparison, because the narrative has not been that. The narrative is the BJP is going to suffer. So even if they get close, it's going to be looked at as, you know, well, you know, it's not going to have that much effect. If the elections, you know, the individual contests are 2 to 3 percentage points different. And that could happen in some states. They could be very close. You know, from here the exit polls, it's that in some of the states, a good many of the seats, and it'll be interesting as he puts up the figures there, are actually quite close.
Dr. Pranchway, wanted to come in?
Yeah, I just want to respectfully disagree with those, because I don't think Narendra Modi should be worried. I think they've factored in some setbacks. You can't win all the time. And I suspect they're going to have a completely different strategy for the Lok Sabha elections. It hasn't been unpacked as yet. There's something coming, we don't know what it is exactly. And Narendra Modi is the master of managing surprises. So wait and watch. This is not a semi-final, number one. Number two...
You're saying it's not a semi-final?
It's not a semi-final. It's a holding operation for the BJP. 1 out of 3 they'll settle for, 2 out of 3 will be a victory, and 3 out of 3, which looks unlikely, will be a bonanza. So I was kind of disagreeing with Daniel as well. But just to finish my point, what I'm only trying to say is that the BJP's own internal strategic think tank and
I think, Dr. Paranjpe, there's a bit of an audio issue with with your mic. I'll come back to you.
Sure.
Jasper, you wanted to come in.
I mean, maybe this is the way through the debate. There's somewhere between 4 to 5 to 6 months between now and the national election, which is an absolute eternity. So whether we believe that this is a semi-final or just a meaningless friendly, there's a hell of a lot to play for. I think what is interesting here is, depending on where the BJP end up in here, what do they do next? What do they do next? Are they anticipating we have to see the outcome, right? Are they going to play it cool, or are they going to start to panic, spend money, put stops out there, release reserves, and from my perspective, what will that do to the overall reform agenda? So I think that's the more interesting thing, is what they actually do, as opposed to whether they're shocked or not.
Daniel?
I think it is a semi-final, and I stick my neck out on it, because if you see in 2013, when the same elections took place, BJP swept Madhya Pradesh, Chhattisgarh, Rajasthan, right? And these states were then very
and
much
AAP did
settled.
wonderfully in Delhi.
Yeah.
And the same results was not reflected in
No,
Lok Sabha, but got reflected in Assembly.
I'm just telling you, see, do not look at it.
I'm just saying people can make different choices.
One is the message, and second is the fact that numbers. They have to only work hard in Uttar Pradesh, and that these numbers really, took them to close to 160, 170, and the less 100 seats from elsewhere. So this is the kind of numbers that these states give. And these states, Madhya Pradesh, Chhattisgarh, Rajasthan, have voted lock, stock and barrel for BJP under 2014. So imagine, if you see in 2003 and 2004, 2003 these states were with the BJP, yet some part of it voted with the Congress. But still, these states were divided between the Congress and BJP. In 2014, it's a very different story, lock, stock and barrel with the BJP. Now the numbers will go down if, I'm saying, Congress wins these 3 states.
Francois, you wanted to come in?
I wanted to say that in 2014, Mr. Modi was elected by United Hindu vote. Most Hindus in India, from the Dalit to the Brahmins, voted for him. This is a fact. Now, he seems to have lost that United Hindu vote, and this is an indication that he has. And Mr. Gandhi, who was, started going soft on Hindutva, going to temples, he's gained some Hindu votes. So mathematically, it seems very straightforward to me that Mr. Modi has lost the United Hindu vote, and he needs to think about that.
Okay, Dr. Anderson.
I don't think there is a united Hindu vote. And if you look at the last election, the BJP got 31% of the vote. That's hardly a united Hindu vote. 31%. And the Congress didn't get...
Muslims and Christians don't vote for Mr. Modi.
well, the last election they got more Muslims than ever before. It was something like 10.
I
it makes a difference in a close election.
I think that's a very contested topic, requires more time.